Hold up, Zeal. Sick.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ridge,
My name is Connor.
and this is The Groove.
The Groove. We're finally reviewing this album, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited to be able to dissect one of our favorite albums, bro.
Yeah, this probably is one of the most defining albums for me.
Yeah.
I know it is probably for you, because I mean, for me, I straight up lived this album.
Yeah, like I remember watching the documentary that King's Kaleidoscope put out, and at the beginning of it, Chad, the lead singer of the band, talks about how Zeal was first an idea, but then they thought about, hey, like, why doesn't Zeal become a character?
Yeah.
And so, like, as we, dive deep more into this album and really, really look at what it means, what we could summarize like the whole entire album with the phrase. I remember you saying something to me. What was that phrase?
So the phrase was the whole, like, I think the theme of Zeal is rediscovering reality.
And it's like broken up into two acts, right?
Yeah.
I remember something that was so potent in the documentary. He talks about this idea of duality, and Chad mentions that Zeal is the return and the regret of childlike faith. And the first half of the album is entitled, what we're calling it today at least, is Regret. The first 7 tracks is what we're gonna define as regret. So you talk. I mean, what are some key takeaways from the first track, Coma? The Coma.
Coma. Yeah, so Coma, man, this is the opening track, and it starts out really soft right before it gets really chaotic.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, the lyrics that I highlighted here is, "This is my fortunate fall." And so what do you think the idea of like a fortunate fall is? Like, how can a fall be fortunate?
Man, dude, I wasn't ready to answer such a deep question, if I can be honest. I know from because I've been a Kings fan for quite some time, and Kings has 2 other albums before this, right? On their Becoming Who We Are album, they have a song called Felix Culpa, which is fortunate fall in Latin. And
Is it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's dope.
Yeah, so Felix Culpa talks about this idea that while sinning and falling is something that is so devastating and so evil, it's fortunate that we fell so that we could get back up to follow Christ, in the sense. So this is maybe Zeal's, when we say Zeal, I'm talking about like the character Zeal.
Yeah.
This is Zeal's realization, like, oh man, I've fallen, but now this is my moment, like what he says in the Coma.
Yeah, this is my fortunate fall. And I think it's like a coming to the end of self.
Right.
To now fall into like the arms of the Father.
Wow. Yeah. That's so deep.
And I think about the story of the lost sheep, because, like, sheep, they're not the most intelligent animal, but the shepherd actually not only goes out there to guide the sheep back, but he picks up the sheep and carries it back himself.
Wow.
And it's like,
wow.
when we come to end of self and turn to Christ, it's not just us like now working our way to like this state of now being with the rest of the flock. He carries us back, and being part of the flock is our reality.
Wow.
And in fact, the reality is that we always were part of the flock. We strayed away from the flock, but we are the one sheep that still was part of the 99, the 100.
Right.
And so he now picks us up and carries us back to our family, where we actually belong.
Wow. Man.
And so like a fortunate fall is like, it's coming to the end of self, and the Father falling into the Father's arms, and him picking us up and carrying us.
Dang, that's deep.
That's what I think of.
That's deep, dude. That's good.
Yeah, man. And I think another thing is, I was asking myself, like, what is the problem that this character Zeal is going through? And to me, the lyric that pops out is it literally tells us what the problem is. I'm not believing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so good. Like, I love that phrase, because like when he says I'm not believing, and the song title is The Coma, life without belief is a false sense of life. Like when you're in a coma, you're alive, but you're asleep. Like you're not aware of anything that is going on around
That's
you.
wild, yeah.
Like you're breathing, your blood is flowing, your heart is pumping, but you have no idea what's going on around you. And so like I think about like my own life, right? Before I really understood that I am who God says I am, I was kind of living this life of like literally living in a coma.
It's like we're sleepwalking.
Yeah, I really felt like I was sleepwalking because I was living the way, you know, church people expected me to live, but not in the way that God wanted me to live. And so I think this is a cool way to start an album. Like sonically, it's so simple but so complex. And so the same idea comes with the issue that Zeal is coming to terms with. It's simple because childlike faith is simple,
Right.
but it's more complex than we think.
Right. He basically is bringing up the whole issue of like what this character Zeal is going through.
Right.
I'm not believing. Like, where did my faith go? Like, and now he's in this state of spiritual apathy.
Yeah.
So when we're facing a moment in our lives where we feel spiritually apathetic and our emotions seem to rise up and speak louder than the word of what Jesus says, what would you say for anybody who's watching if they're experiencing that moment?
Coming to terms with it. I think like realizing that you're there is half the battle. You know, like I was so, I mean, if you haven't noticed, for anyone who's watching, I'm Asian. I'm Filipino, so I grew up in this culture where like you always had to be okay. You always had to have everything right and be perfect. And so when I first, you know, was realizing that I was going through spiritual apathy and realizing that I'm in a coma, coming to terms with it was so hard. Like I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to admit it. But I found that once I admitted it, I knew where I was. And if I know where I am, I know where to go.
And that's so powerful because that's what this character, Zeal, is going through. He's coming to terms. He's like, I'm not believing. There's something wrong here.
Right. And the rest of the album is the unfolding, the adventure of Zeal.
Right. It's
the
the adventure of rediscovering reality.
Yes. But first, he's going to regret.
But first, he's going to regret, and he's going to go through a lot of emotions.
So, watch next episode to see where he goes next.
Yeah. We're going to take you on the journey of Zeal.